Hi, I'm Jamal Jones, the founder and principal attorney at Jones Health Law, and today we'll be discussing the definitions, requirements, and purpose of death certificates. So, what is a death certificate? By definition, a death certificate is an official government issued document that declares the known data of a deceased person at their time of death. A death certificate is a legal record of death. This can include, but is not limited to, the identifying statistics of the decedent, along with the specific information of the death in question, such as the time of death, exact location of death, and cause of death. So what information should be reported on a death certificate? Other than the identifying information of the deceased individual, there are common details that should always be listed on a death certificate. At a minimum, death certificate should include the following information: probable manner of death. The statement on the manner of death should be as specific as possible. For example, the manner of death should not be listed as natural causes, but rather a list of illnesses likely to have prompted the mortality of the decedent. Time of death. The time of death must be written in the standard 24-hour universal time clock. And known or significant conditions. This can include identified underlying illness or diseases that conceivably led to the death. It can also include smoking habits or drug use. So who can sign off on a death certificate? According to Florida law, the death certificate is to be signed within 32 hours by the appropriate party. The typical certifier of the death certificate is the medical practitioner in charge of the decedent's care for the illness or disorder which resulted in the death of the decedent. The death certificate may also be signed by the medical physician that was attending to the decedent at the time of death or immediately after death. In the instance of a natural death, it is expected that the medical practitioner that was caring for the decedent within the previous 3 months will sign the death certificate. At times, there will be no specific illness or conditional circumstances which resulted in the death of the decedent. The signing medical practitioner or medical examiner will declare the cause of death to the best of his or her knowledge and belief. It is common to use terminology such as probable and likely for a decedent whose cause of death is not certain. It is up to the medical practitioner to use their best medical opinion at the time of signing the death certificate. Should the case be deemed a suicide, a homicide, or an accident, it is not unlikely for a medical examiner to certify the death certificate. Any case that is under investigation or indeterminate will fall under the responsibility of the assigned medical examiner to certify and complete. It is required that the funeral director file the death certificate within 5 days. There is also a 5-day extension period if the funeral director needs additional time to meet with the family to certify information requested. Should any supplementary evidence be discovered after the death certificate has been certified and filed, it is possible to have the death certificate amended. The Bureau of Vital Statistics, along with the Florida Association of Medical Examiners, combined efforts and have created a tutorial on completing a death certificate. So what is the purpose of a death certificate? Well, there are many instances where death certificates are useful and even necessary. The Department of Public Health keeps records of death certificates and can create reports detailing leading causes of death and produce reports for public or private knowledge on information such as suicide and homicide-related deaths, infant death rates, occupational-related death, etc. The death certificate is also necessary for the decedent's family or next of kin to have for a variety of legal purposes. Should a probate case need to be opened, a death certificate is necessary. A death certificate is also needed for a family member to claim a potential veteran's benefit, Social Security benefit, or life insurance. Financial institutions such as banks, vehicle loan holders, credit card claims, etc. also require a death certificate to process any requested information for the next of kin.